Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Mikhail Peters. If I look super sweaty, it's because I am. We're starting to have like this second heat wave almost at this time, and yeah, it's kind of a lot. I'm rocking the baby. I feel like I'm not holding my baby enough, so I'm trying to do that while I'm multitasking and doing this. As you can see, based on my background, it's like we're constantly doing laundry here because it seems like everything just keeps getting pooped on. Anyway, I have to go to the Nebula in less than an hour, so we'll see how this is really gonna go. I'm trying to like keep up with the channel. I tried to do this new channel just exclusively about Finland, and honestly, because I'm not monetized on there, which I know that was the point, was to get to that point where I'd be monetized and then have that be like a different nature of cash cow. Yeah, because cash cow is a strong word. Because I'm not there yet, I've been having a harder time wanting to keep up with that side. So, yeah. And I already have a #1 fan who's like, I have an idea for your channel, and this, and that, and this, and that. I'll say, like, the really interesting thing about having a baby is, like, I'm constantly thinking about doing things, and they're not happening. So I'm like, yeah, I should do this, I should do that. The biggest one is mentally sending text messages to people that just, like, simply, that's just not gonna happen. Speaking of which, I have, like, 3 text messages in my mental bank I still need to send today. But anyway, as usual, the long, irrelevant interlude. I love how I'm also getting a lot of comments, obviously, from the Russian side, not the Finnish side, about, like, needing to lose weight and all that, and I'm like, you idiots obviously don't understand how having a child works. Also, like, I pretty much did lose all of the weight already, because I'm already wearing my, like, pre-pregnancy clothes. Okay, we're just gonna do this. Alright, so, and baby's bald and stuff. So the whole point of this is really me talking about residence permit stuff, and the reason why I'm, oh my gosh, it's so hot. Okay, I have a fan. Hold on here, please. Ooh, okay. Yeah, so the whole reason although babies should not be near the fan. Yep, this is kind of like how it goes with everything in my life. It's like trying to do something and then baby. Okay, so yeah, get some ventilation going. This is one thing, like, I know people say this all the time, but Finnish apartments are so great at just like keeping in heat, and that's definitely what's going on. Alright, so I talk to people here and there and hear lots of different pieces about like what's going on with the way that the Finnish government is currently changing residence permit stuff. And the reason why I think that this is so pertinent is because, like, bits and pieces are not really giving you the full story. Also, I started looking into this yesterday, which is why I wanted to make a video about it and like actually talk about it. Because the whole thing is that depending on whether, like, it depends what you're trying to do, and you know there are different things about this, and you can go read this on the website, but I'm gonna like apply this to my own life and sort of talk about what I think is important and is not important. Yeah, so obviously, like, with a child, I have, you know, different kinds of like aspirations at this point in my life, I would say, mostly because like it's kind of important for me to try to get Finnish citizenship for the child, just mostly because then we have different opportunities for her education in the future. That's like really the biggest one, because obviously nobody wants to pay to like go to a US university. I guess if you grow up in the US, you don't really think of there being a different option, but if you're growing up cross-culturally, then you do. You know, because I have friends who are half Finnish who have like come here to study because it's free, because they're a citizen, instead of like wherever they're from. So, you know, that's definitely an option. Ugh, I need to get out of the house just because it's too hot in here. Okay, anyway, so some of the long interlude of me trying to like be not hot and not like all over the place. Alright, but anyway, so here's the thing. People are like, now it takes 8 years. So it takes 8 years if you don't have the language requirement. If you have the language requirement, it is then going to take you only 4 years. Now, one of the issues is whether you have type A or type B, because, and here's the thing, because people are like, type A doesn't count, or type B doesn't count as anything. And type B is usually awarded or given whatever under the pretense that you are eventually going to leave once your term is up. So that was the whole thing for me, is like, you know, I came on a Fulbright. I was given a type B because the idea was I was going to leave and return home after that, not that I was going to stay. I continued to have a type B when I was searching for work, and then once I got converted to a research or residence A permit, now I have type A. So the thing is, if you're applying for citizenship, type B counts as half-time. However, if you're applying for a permanent residence permit, then the type A doesn't count at all. Or the type B, sorry, doesn't count at all. So the majority of the residence permit I've had has time-wise has been a type B. I had a type B for 3 years, and I've now only had a type A for 1 year. So cumulatively, that means that I have 2.5 years. But that is towards citizenship. That is not necessarily towards the permanent residence. So if you want the permanent residence permit, you need 4 years of type A. And right now, because I'm in a PhD program for 4 years, technically, and especially because I'm on maternity leave for a year, that helps, so I'll have to extend it. I don't know how they feel about that, or if that gets considered, but whatever. So now I'm wondering if I can do that, am I going to be able to get converted to a permanent residence permit? Now, one of the other things is time outside the country. Now, this is very important for if you're applying for a citizenship, because you really have to track very well, even if you just went on vacation outside of the country, like how often you've been outside the country. So, I'm not really sure that citizenship is really like the goal right now, because obviously it's going to be like some 18 years until this child is like ready to go to uni. But we've got time there. And so, the language requirement makes it so that you only need 4 years for citizenship. And again, God, this is so confusing. Like, I remember reading this and I was like, what? And I'm trying to break it down and I'm still confused. Well, I think I'm just trying to assess, like, what this is going to look like for me. So if I'm trying to get this permanent residence permit, the thing is, I have to be physically in Finland for 2 out of those 4 years. That's really not so bad, considering I try to spend like half time here. Now, this is the thing also, is like, daycare doesn't start till the baby's much older. And look, just because I can handle like doing everything completely by myself doesn't mean I necessarily like it. I'll be honest, there have been exactly 3 moments since she was born where I'm like, why did I do this? And it's usually if we have a sleepless night, which did happen last night. I had somebody yesterday tell me I looked tired, and I'm like, let's pray I can actually sleep tonight, and that did not happen. She was up randomly for like 3 hours in the middle of the night, so I was like totally not loving that. But anyway, so it is all very complicated, and I keep thinking about whether the easier thing is going to just be like trying to stay in academia and just sort of like not doing a craptastic job at that, as I would say, or whether I want to convert to like actually trying to be like an entrepreneur, business owner kind of person. And that might be like easier, just because I feel like a bit more motivated towards that. I think it's a little bit less like brain intensive, and I think, I don't know. It's sort of like, I'm trying to think of the right way to frame this. Like an Uber success if I get to spend more than like a 10-minute increment on the computer at this point. Like right now I'm like doing this kind of thing where I'm moving. That's a little bit hard when you're trying to actually focus on something on the computer besides just talking, which, I can do on the phone, or whenever I'm talking to people, I can be doing this motion. But when I'm trying to like type, this isn't working. So there's all that. So basically, the other thing is, though, in order to not get your residence permit removed, you need to not be outside of Finland, or taken from you, whatever. You need to not be outside of Finland for more than 6 consecutive months. So I'm sort of like asking myself now, especially because, to be very honest with you, I have like absolutely no purpose in being in Finland right now, because the baby can't go to daycare and I'm on maternity leave for a year. So like there's kind of no point. So if I'm going to come back in 6 months, that'll be like March or April or something. So, I have kind of thought about whether that makes sense to do. Like, and circumstances change. Also, like, I've talked about this previously, but like my grandfather is very sick. He's doing a lot better, but I'm also concerned about him passing away soon. Like, I hate admitting that, but like it is totally true. And that is actually a reason why in the residence permit stuff on the Migri website, that if you have like a sick relative, that can be a reason why you may have gaps. So that's like legitimately something that has been going on. Stage 4 cancer, like kind of serious, but somehow like things are going like kind of okay, or they're like at bay right now, which is amazing, and like I'm very grateful for that. But like I'm just saying, these are like considerations. So again, it's like, just because I can do something doesn't mean like I should. And it's like, if there's really no purpose, like, whereas like, once you get into like using daycare and then actually like having your own routine and doing your own things and having your own purpose, which again is actually doing PhD stuff or doing my business stuff, which I'll kind of keep doing anyway, The business needs to get big enough for it to actually like matter and that to like count as a legitimate reason why I'm here. I actually have a business meeting today with my current co-founder and other co-founder, such a strong way of putting it. The other co-founder is joining. But yeah, I mean, it's a good idea, so I feel like it's gonna like work out. It's just right now we're trying to do the website thing, and I've got a couple offers with that, so I'm appreciative of that. But anyway, so these are all the things with the residence permit. I'm just kind of trying to like, I don't think about it too much because it's so many years down the road that it's like, I can't like, I can't just get citizenship if I want to. Like, and again, the 4 years, I'm only at 2.5 years. So I still need like another year and a half, which, to be fair, maybe that year and a half could be spent like trying to do the Uki testy thing and pass that. But then the other thing is I've been out of Finland so much that even if I were to present like, hey, I've been in Finland for 4 years, like, no, you really haven't. You've pretty much been in Finland like 50% of that time. So yeah, there are just like a lot of considerations essentially. And yeah, I'm thinking right now, practically speaking for myself, is if I can maintain a type A for long enough and then I can get a permanent residence permit, that may be like a good placeholder to kind of kick the citizenship can down the road a bit. One thing I keep thinking about too is like the reason why the PhD is good is because as long as I'm continuing education, I can still avoid doing my boring scholarship in the US, which is like I need to work for the US government for a year. I've been procrastinating to do that because I didn't really want to like move from New Jersey and then like liking my job and stuff. So yeah, but that would be an issue because I wouldn't be able to do the back and forth thing so much. So I don't know. And I think to get your permanent residence permit taken away, you need to be out of Finland for 2 consecutive years. So you have like more time. So with a like non-permanent residence permit, it's 6 months, and with a permanent residence permit, it's 2 months. So anyway, these are all the things I was like researching because I was like, I should think about that. And mostly because right now I'm trying to like, make adequate plans for like when I think that I'm going to like come back. Cool. Okay, to Finland at this point, just because like, obviously, it's actually okay for them to fall that way, just not that way, because in the womb they're curled up. But anyway, yeah, because, the baby needs to have like family who loves her, because I'm only one person. My love is a lot, but I want her to have more. Yeah, whatever. So, yeah, I'm thinking more about, like, what's best for my child and just, like, what's going to be, like, easiest, because obviously being a parent is already hard. I do think being a parent is, like, the hardest thing ever, because it's, like, a job you can never step away from, and I think even when your kids are grown, you still feel, like, responsible for them in some way, or, like, want to help them and make sure that they're safe and happy and successful and whatever other stuff. But yeah, what's this discussion about? Basically trying to secure my child's future so she can go to university, because I would probably bet my life on the fact that this child is going to want to go to university, because this child's basically born out of university. Not really, but kind of. Near a university. She already goes to the university, so I'm prepping her. But she can do whatever she wants. I don't really care that much. I say that now, right? But yeah, so residence permit considerations, that's what's going on. Okay, time for me to get ready to go to the doctor. And that's kind of all I have for today. So thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Until next time, bye.